When I was a girl each week, on Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad, miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small. An even better magic trick is anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half there, heaven second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face, say it's not a testament, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament, tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red-winged bird, shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. Made me want to bow my head, and I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. Used to be a world half there, heaven second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with the reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Thank you. That was Holy Now by Peter Mayer. Beautiful song. So, welcome everyone. It's really such a privilege to be here today. It was beautiful driving across the prairie to come here. I'm so glad I could make it, and that all of you are so brave to be out here. Woo! So welcome everyone. Here's my hug for you all. Kisses. So let's take a moment to pause in prayer before entering into our service. Dear God, be with us today as we gather here, coming together in these uncertain times to worship, to be together in community, and know that we hold everyone out there here with us in our hearts, whether they are people staying home out of an abundance of caution, whether they're feeling ill. Bless all the healthcare workers and all the other workers who are out there doing their jobs so we can have food and toilet paper and everything we need. Be with us this day as we step into finding joy even in challenging times. Amen. So we'll stand if you'd like to stand. So usually in this welcome song, we're going to sing together. Usually I have you greet each other with a hug or a handshake, but you can just turn around and look deeply into each other's eyes and appreciate your energy and presence that you can send each other. So if you want to stand to sing, it's a nice thing to do, but of course you don't have to. Everybody is welcome, welcome here today. Everybody is welcome, welcome on this snowy day. So come on in and sit right down. Everybody is welcome, welcome here today. Everybody is welcome, welcome. We're glad you're here. Everybody is welcome, welcome from far and near. So come on in and sit right down. Everybody is welcome, welcome here today. Everybody is welcome, welcome. This is unity. Everybody is welcome, welcome. Here your family. So come on in and sit right down. Everybody is welcome, welcome here today. So turn and greet each other with your beautiful, loving eyes. Everybody is welcome, welcome here today. Everybody is welcome, welcome on this wintry day. So come on in and sit right down. Everybody is welcome, welcome here today. Woo! I wrote that song just for you. That's right, I did. So, I've been listening to this tape by Thich Nhat Hanh, this Vietnamese Buddhist monk, and he talks about how, he's always doing these meditations of breathe in flower, whatever it is, mountain, whatever, but this is flower. Breathe in flower, breathe out sweetness, whatever that thing embodies. And then he talks about how your mouth is a flower, and your two eyes are a flower. So we have 3 flowers to offer everyone every day. This is how he talks. It's so like the sweetest way. So go into the world and greet everybody with your 3 flowers. It's a good thing for right now, right? Your flowers. So this song is called This Joy. It's a traditional tune, and it's to the melody of This Little Light of Mine. So hope you all probably here know that melody. It's a pretty simple song to sing along to. Just one word changes each verse. This joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. This peace in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This peace in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This peace in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. This strength, yeah. This strength in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This strength in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This strength in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. This love in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This love in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This love in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. This song in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This song in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This song in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. This joy like you mean it now. This joy in my heart, there you go. The world didn't give it to me. This joy in my heart, the world didn't give it to me. This joy in my heart, The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. All right. That's the truth. So this is one of my favorite songs to play. Many of you have probably heard me play it here before. It's kind of a theme song for me. I love playing and singing it any time. This old hymn, but I especially love singing it and playing it when times are challenging. So it's a good reminder. It's called How Can I Keep From Singing, written in the 1800s by Robert Lowry. My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the sweet though far off hymn that hails the new creation. Above the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest loudly roar? I hear the truth, it liveth. And though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to this rock I'm clinging. Since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? It's funny, when I was singing that song and singing about life and the beauty of life, I was thinking how all those little virus microbes out there are also life. So when I had cancer, I did this thing where I decided I didn't want to hate my cancer because, there's all this like battling illness and cancer. And I was like, but those are my cells. That's my body. I don't want to be saying that to my body. So I decided I was going to love my cancer cells to death. So maybe we can do that with the virus as well. We'll just love those little viruses till they go away. Maybe they just need our attention. So the talk today is on awakening joy. I have the great privilege right now of doing a teacher training for a course called Awakening Joy that was created by a Buddhist meditation teacher named James Baras. He's one of the founding creators of Spirit Rock in California, one of the main insight meditation centers in the country. And I was telling some people beforehand that just this week we're moving into the chapter on finding joy in challenging times. So just this week, but it's one of my favorite topics anyway, and this whole course really resonates with me because it's stuff I've been working with for a very long time. So I thought, what a perfect thing for today to just talk a little bit about awakening joy. So we're going to kind of look at the first 3 points. There's a book also called Awakening Joy by him. That's really wonderful. So I thought we'd kind of look at the 3 first ideas around this whole thing. So from his perspective, first of all, so he started really getting into this because so often in Buddhism, some of you are probably familiar with the Four Noble Truths. And the first one is often translated as life is suffering, which is actually a little misconception, because what the Buddha was trying to say is that there is suffering in life. Life includes suffering. It doesn't mean all of life is suffering. But unfortunately, it's kind of sometimes, even in Buddhist traditions in certain places and in certain circles, somehow there's this idea that you have to suffer in order to be like following the path, that you have to go and, spend a lot of time focusing on suffering. But actually, and some of you probably know the story of the Buddha, he was born a prince, so he was very protected from suffering. He lived in a palace and didn't see any poverty, was very well taken care of, always in abundance of food and whatever else was needed. And one day, as he grew a little bit older, he saw over the fence. He was already married, I think, and had a child by that time. And he saw over the walls of his compound and the suffering and poverty that there was on the outside, and decided he couldn't continue to live like that in all that, sequestered from suffering. And so he dedicated his life to going out and trying to figure out how to overcome suffering. And he went through a lot of suffering himself on that path, trying all different spiritual, ascetic practices, practically starved himself to death multiple times, trying these different practices to figure out where was the road out of suffering. And then eventually sat under the Bodhi tree until he just decided he was going to sit there until he was awakened, which happened. And then he spent the rest of his life teaching how to find your way out of suffering. So that's really his thing, is trying to help us figure out our way out of suffering, because there is suffering in life. That's just a fact. Things happen. We lose people. We become ill. There's challenges in life. So how can we find joy, within life? And so he talks about these states called wholesome states that are things like compassion and generosity and equanimity. And those states are also, part of his teaching says we need to cultivate those states. So we have to learn how to deal with the states that aren't. There we go. But we also have to cultivate these higher states. So these states bring us into a place of expansion. So if you even just think about it for yourself, how you feel when you're fearful, it's a very contracted state. Or if you're angry or bitter or, whatever might be going on, nervous, in a place of scarcity, we tend to contract, right? And when we're in those contracted states, it's very hard to see clearly. It's pretty much impossible. All we see is this little world that's going on inside of us. But when we step into these other states of compassion and love and joy and happiness, then everything opens up. Those are states of expansion. So when we can move into those states of expansion, we're actually kind of creating this, well, not kind of, we are creating this container that allows us to hold our suffering, to hold those other states in a way that's more, that allows us to figure out a way to interact with those, to accept and allow those other states in a way that's healthy, so we can see our way out of our challenges. So it's really important to cultivate these states, and we're not really taught to do that in our culture. Yeah, exactly. And our brains are actually wired to look for problems. They're wired, this is called negativity bias. And I think it's something like 80% of our thoughts are about something that's wrong. This is not working, that's not right, I just did this, I shouldn't have done that, whatever. So it's natural that we're looking for problems. The brain is a problem-solving machine. That's what it's for. Figure out problems, find a problem so we can figure it out. So we're always looking for problems. The beautiful thing is our brain has what's called plasticity. And it's throughout your life. They used to think it was only when you were a child, but actually throughout your life, we can change how our brain works. So we can retrain our brain, yay! We can retrain our brain so that we start to see the good. we start to see the positive. But it takes some effort because we have to overcome this natural propensity. But when we do that, there's an expression in neuroscience that says neurons that fire together wire together. So the more we do that, the more new synapses start to develop in our brain, and pretty soon it starts to become much more natural to see beauty, to see joy, to see the good, to see the positive. So that's a very, very wonderful thing that's this opportunity. So there's kind of three things that we want to try to do to awaken joy. And the first is what I was just mentioning, to develop and increase those wholesome or healthy states of mind, the states that lead us to genuine happiness. The second thing is to take time to notice those states when they're there. So this is a part that's a little bit tricky. I mean, I know lots of times I might feel grateful for something, but what happens is more like a thought in my mind. It's there for a second and then it's gone. So if we can stop when we have that feeling of gratefulness, or when we see a beautiful sunrise, or whatever might, bring us a little bit of joy, a child smiles at us, to stop and really feel how that feels in our bodies, it has a very different effect. So this is one of the ways that we can start to, first start to notice these, and then to start cultivating, right? Start spending some time. Feel how it feels in your body, drop out of your mind into your body, and start to, get more in touch with those feelings. And then those feelings actually start to amplify, and it has a much greater effect than if we just, briefly something happens. And there, he actually recommends this pausing for 15 seconds, 6 times in your day, to bring something beautiful to mind, or if you just happen to, notice something beautiful, to pause for 15 seconds, and it can really start to transform your outlook. So that's 90 seconds of well-being. And it's really pretty radical what can happen if you do that. And I thought to myself, well, I'm a pretty positive person, and I pay attention to the positive a lot, so that's not going to change things that much. And when I started doing it, I was amazed. It's like I don't usually pause for 15 seconds and just soak it up. It's really different. So I would really highly recommend that. Figure out when your 6 times are going to be so that you don't forget, because otherwise we get to the end of the day, it's like, oh, rats, I never stopped today once. So that's really, really helpful. And then the third thing is inclining our mind towards joy or well-being. So over time, as we do these practices, this starts to become a habit. So that idea that neurons that fire together, wire together, this is just inclining our mind. So we don't have to force this to happen. There's a lot of different practices to help bring this about, but it's not like we have to force it. It's not like when we're in a bad mood, we're like, okay, I'm going to be joyful right now. And, oh, now this is not working. And so now I'm down on myself. What is that? Now I just moved into a contracted state. So it's completely counterproductive to try to force it. So instead, you just invite one of these practices in. Think of something that's beautiful, something that you're grateful for, something amazing that happened to you in the last week or so, and just let it do its magic on its own. You don't need to force it. It can just be a natural process. Sometimes it may work more than others, but trust me, it will start to work. So we're just simply inviting the mind and heart to open up to the goodness that's around and inside of us. So the first step we take in doing all of this is to set an intention. So some of you have this practice of setting an intention, and it's really actually very powerful. I created one around this course, actually, an intention for myself around, inviting in joy. And mine is, I will willingly and openly invite joy and love into my heart and mind so that I may share that joy and love in ever-expanding ways with all those I encounter. So sometimes what happens is we feel like being joyful, especially when we know other people are suffering, that's not such a good thing because these other people are suffering, and so I should be suffering with them, right? If I was really a compassionate person. And I was listening to a talk by Pema Chodron. It was so beautiful, and this person was feeling very guilty about something that she had done, and so finding a very hard time to, move into a better place. And Pema said, those feelings of sadness and sorrow about how you acted are not a bad thing, because it says you have deep compassion in your heart. It's actually a very positive thing. So when we have those feelings, we can let that be our connection to others and our connection to all of humanity. So we don't need to chase them away. It's actually a really beautiful thing when we feel badly about what we did, or when we recognize that other people are suffering and I have all this joy and this other person is suffering. So, let that be a gateway to our connection. But it doesn't mean we have to step away from our own joy, or that it has to take our own joy away. In fact, if you think for a minute about how you feel when you're around a person who is negatively oriented or fearful or whatever else, it's not such a pleasant feeling. It's not really often an easy thing. But if you step into a room and the person is just radiating joy, right? Your heart starts to open up and you start to feel a little bit better. And then you actually are more effective in life. You can be of more service when you're feeling that joy that we all hold within us. It's a natural thing. You watch children. They're naturally joyful. I'm always amazed when I see pictures of places where there's drought in Africa or something, and the children are just like smiling and running around even though they don't have enough to eat. So we all have that within us. And it's actually a great service to the world to help to start to cultivate those wholesome states. Especially in times when things are challenging and a lot of people are suffering. So it's really important to remember that. So this business of being joyful, we all want to be happy, but few of us really put our happiness at the center of our lives, are really dedicated to making sure that we tap into joy every day. So that's the difference between just experiencing it here and there and really having an intention, setting an intention to do that. It's not wishing or hoping that something will happen. It's not like a goal or expectation. But when you set an intention, you let go of timetables or report cards, measures that you've passed or failed, and you're simply inclining your mind towards a particular vision. And it's very important to make that decision for yourself, whatever it is that you're striving towards. So this inclining our minds towards joy is one of the ways, actually, that we can align our hearts and minds with God so that prayer and meditation come from a wholesome place, as unity principle number 4 tells us. So right in line with unity principles. The Buddha said, with our thoughts, we make the world. Sound familiar? It's exactly what unity's 3rd principle is telling us, right? Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. So not a new idea at all. And then when you make a heartfelt decision to do what you can to bring joy about, this natural impulse of the heart towards greater well-being, when you incline your mind and make a heartfelt decision to do that, it leads to action. So when we're in this place of expansion, holding that compassion that we have for suffering, but also in this place of compassion and joy, we're more effective in the world and we can step out. Compassion leads to action. So it's another reason that, feeling this compassion for those who suffer is a positive thing, because that leads us to take action. If we're in an expanded state, we take action. So that also aligns with unity's principles and number 5 that says we need to, in thought, word, and action, be out there living the truth that we know. There's a Buddhist monk in the Thai forest tradition, Ajahn Sumedho, that says, truth, beauty, and goodness delight us. In them we find joy. So anytime we can step into our truth, we can find more joy. So the second thing we can do is start to be more mindful. So I mentioned that already. I didn't use the word mindfulness, but that's what we're doing when we recognize, oh, I'm feeling grateful right now. Let me bring my attention to this. Let me see how that feels in my body. Let me spend 15 seconds with this gratitude. So mindfulness helps us to pay attention to what's happening. In fact, that's what mindfulness is. Paying attention to what's happening right now, seeing it clearly without judgment. So those are like the three components. So you can bring that awareness, this clear seeing of what's going on, infuse that with loving kindness, and that brings calm to the mind, opens the heart, helps us to see things differently in a clearer way that can help us then respond wisely to whatever situation is before us, instead of acting out of our habitual reactions or fear or whatever might be driving us otherwise. So there's a sign in Las Vegas on a casino that says you must be present to win. That's mindfulness. You must be present to be really fully engaged in life. You must be present to win. So then when we're mindful, we can actually remember to pause. It's hard to remember to pause, but if we're more mindful in our lives, we can begin to pause. And the third thing I wanted to spend just a little time on today is gratitude. So how many people here have a gratitude practice, daily gratitude practice? Yeah, so a few. It's really, it's one of my favorites. James Baraz actually says it's a way you can say yes to life. So really inviting life in. That song that all the songs I've sung so far today have to do with that. Really being grateful for what is. There'll be a couple more coming up that also are in that same vein. So this is one of those wholesome states that allows us to be in that more expanded state. So often, when there's something difficult before us, we're just immediately fixated on what's difficult. But actually, it's really helpful to do something consciously to move yourself into one of those more expanded states before you try to figure out the issue or the problem or what's the next thing you need to do. And I know I've had to practice a lot of that this last week. I was sharing with some of you ahead of time, I'm an independent artist and yoga teacher and speaker, and pretty much everything, all of my income sources have been shut down. Almost entirely. Not here today, that's nice. But it's a big thing for me to have to suddenly be like, oh, and I don't know how long this is going to go on, right? So initially I'm like contracting, like, oh my gosh, this, and oh my god that, and sterilizing everything. And I have students that come to my house for music lessons, and first we were sterilizing everything at the yoga studio, and then it closed. And so I went into those contracted states, and then I'm like, okay, wait, okay, right. What is beautiful in my life right now? Thich Nhat Hanh actually advises, if you're having trouble figuring out what you're grateful for, ask what's not wrong, right? Is your car broken down? Oh, great, my car's working. Last week I was sick, I'm not sick this week, whatever it might be, I had a big bill to pay last week, I paid that off, yay. So it's just kind of another way of turning things around. And of course, we can always just be grateful that we're alive. Sometimes I have people look at their hands. You can all do that right now. Just put your hand in front of you and then start to move it. Look at it's miraculous, really, the way it all moves around. And then you can start thinking of all the things you're able to do with your hands. We used to be able to shake hands, but in the future, we'll be able to shake hands. We can hold our own hands. We can give ourselves massages. We can hold pens and write. We can sew. We can play music. It's really miraculous. So that's a way, if you can't think of anything, it's like, oh, let me just trip out on my body for a minute. Like my heart's beating. I don't have to do anything. My heart's beating. And it's not just beating. It's like taking oxygen and then, sending it out through my body and sending it to all my cells. And my digestive system is processing all my food and eliminating toxins. And really, it's pretty amazing. All of it. So when you can step into this place of gratitude and finding what's amazing in your life, it's really beneficial and helps you move into that place of joy. And again, once you're grateful, sitting with it and feeling it in your body. So Einstein said there are two ways to see the world. One is as if nothing is a miracle. The second is as if everything is a miracle. So I would invite you to do that today and in this week and months to come. Try to see everything as a miracle. Like this piece of paper here. How the heck did this even happen that we have paper? This was a tree, right? And then the fact that I just typed some things into this machine and then pushed a button and it printed this on this paper. Like, how the heck did that happen? So, anything really, if you get yourself in the right frame of mind, everything's a miracle. It's a miracle that I made it here today, It's a miracle that I'm alive at all. So, and all of us, really. So we can just keep being in that place of really finding gratitude for everything. The other thing that happens when we move into this place of expansion is that actually we open up so we can receive what is good. When we're constricted and shut down like that, there may be lots of good stuff happening in our lives, but we can't really receive it because the door is not open. So this opens the doors that we can really receive. And there's so many different gratitude practices out there. There's just sitting and thinking of something beautiful. There's those pausing, 6 times a day to think about what you're grateful for. There is writing a gratitude journal every night. I get down on my knees every night before I get into bed and just kind of run through my day, the things that happened, and give gratitude for each of those. In the morning, it's part of my meditation, I just write one thing. I have a little calendar, one of those pocket calendars, just one thing each day. And then at the end of the month, I read through all my little gratitudes for the month. It's a nice little memory. So many, many, many different practices that you can do. So I would encourage you to try one. They don't have to be things that take a lot of time. Pretty simple. So it's a really, really nice, easy, practical way to move into that. There's studies that show, actually, that people who have a positive outlook on life have better overall health, stronger immune systems, are better able to manage stress and trauma, live longer lives, have more successful and fulfilling relationships, greater self-esteem and feelings of self-worth, are 8 times less likely to suffer from depression, less fear, doubt, and anxiety. So if there's a time to make these things happen, I would say it's now. So there's a variety of supportive practices that we can also do to really kind of help our general well-being. Do something nourishing for yourself regularly. So close your eyes right now and just think of one thing that nourishes you, that makes you feel good. It might be a bubble bath, or eating dark chocolate, or going for a run, or hugging your partner, whatever it might be. And then just decide you're going to make sure that thing happens a few times this week. You can open your eyes. So I actually have this thing, I call it my Feel Better Soon chart. I don't use it all the time, but when I get in a funk, I get out my Feel Better Soon chart, and it's got multiple things that nourish me. And I actually track them through the week. I set a goal for okay, I want this thing to happen 3 times, 4 times daily, whatever it is. And then I keep track of it every day at the end of the day. It's amazing how much we think we might be taking care of ourselves, and then things go by and we don't. So write them down, whatever you decided today. Go home and write yourself a note, put it on your mirror or something so you remember. The other one is to meditate or take some quiet time each day, just to be quiet. I've been going out on runs this week so I can be with nature. We can't be so close to other people, but we can be close to the trees, and it's really helpful to just get outside and breathe. And I was driving actually today across the Kaw River, and I looked at it and I thought, wow, the Kaw River is the same as it was when the Native Americans were here living, roaming the land. We're just passing by. Nature is just there, holding space for us and being present. James also advises that we sing often or do something creative if you don't want to sing. But singing is a really good thing to get energy moving through your body and just to lift the spirits. Or turn on music that you like and dance around your house. Paint, draw, write, whatever brings you joy. And then the other one is moving your body. So it's important for us right now to make sure that we're moving a little bit. Sometimes it's easy just to slump down and watch TV and get lost in movies. But when you get done with that, stand up and move your body a little bit. Those are all things that we can do to support ourselves and to help ourselves move into joy. So I invite you all this week especially to remember some of these things, to take time to experience joy. It's so important right now for us individually to boost our immune systems, to stay positive, to figure out different ways of approaching life that allow us to sustain ourselves in health and in resources and spirit. And it's also good for everyone else too. So I invite you again often to awaken to joy, now more than ever. And so it is. So we're going to move into a time of meditation. And I chose for this song today, the song When I Pray by Daniel Nahman. Some of you know it. I was singing it at home, and it just felt like such a great place to go. Prayer is always there as a resource. So I'm going to start with this song. Just let this song help you to center. You might want to take a moment to just find a comfortable seat, perhaps placing your feet flat on the floor and just feeling your connection with the earth. If you know this song or if you just feel inspired to sing along, you're welcome. So go ahead and just close down your eyes if it feels comfortable for you to do so, and enjoy this music. We'll take some time here in meditation. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. So just breathe that in, letting your attention drop down into your heart center, letting go of all thought, all worry or doubt. Just feeling this place from which joy originates deep within our hearts. Knowing that the joy you feel, the love, the kindness, compassion, equanimity, these things are God expressing through you. There's nothing that could be more true than living in this space of divinity. Nothing that could be more helpful to humanity than living from this place of divinity. Let the beauty that is you and the beauty that is all around you travel throughout your whole being, shining like a brilliant light that reaches out to everyone gathered here, fills this room, and then spreads on across the town, across the land, the entire country and the globe, wrapping all of us in this beautiful light, the light of joy, love, and compassion. I invite you to continue to sit here, bathed in this beautiful light, as we move into a moment of silence. As you are ready, bring your attention to your body seated here. The connection to the earth through your feet. The connection to the heavens through the crown of your head. Knowing that all is well with your soul. As you are ready, you can open your eyes, returning to presence here with those gathered in this room. So it's time for our offering. I invite you to join me in our abundance affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. So this next song is another one of my favorites to sing. I only sing my favorites, so really, pretty much they're all my favorites. This is May I Suggest by Susan Warner. A beautiful, beautiful song to help us step into all the gifts that are present for us here every moment. It's called May I Suggest. May I suggest to you. Technical difficulties, one moment. This thing is slowly lowering. There we go. I was performing one time in this little, it was in North Carolina, at this little place called the Cook Shack. And there's all these amazing fiddlers, that would come out of the hills to play. And they have microphones and little cafe over here, and always free for traveling musicians, so we got to eat for free. And then they have an audience, so it's set up so that people can come and watch these jams on Sunday morning. So I was in the jam session with some other people, and there were these two kids that had won all these awards. One of them was a 7-year-old girl playing fiddle and her brother on guitar. And she was playing her fiddle, and the mic started to do that thing, like syncing, right? She just kept going, and I went over there and adjusted it for her while she's singing. And then in the middle of her fiddling, she looks over at me and said, she's 7. It was amazing. So I just thought every time Mike does it, I'm like, if she can be professional, so can I. But I'm professional in that folk singer kind of way. We just get to tell stories in between. Anyway, may I suggest? May I suggest May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest this time is blessed for you. This time is blessed and shining, oh so blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see the 1,000 reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret world, like a treasure chest for you, a private dreams and brilliant scenes that mesmerize. A lover's trusting smile, a tiny baby's hand, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. Yes, I suggest to you, yes, I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a hope that's been expressed in you, the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. This is the faith that they invest in you. It's that you'll do one better than was done before. Inside you know, inside you understand, inside you know what's yours to finally set right. And I suggest to you, and I suggest this is the best part of your life. This is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. With a request of you to see how very short the endless days will run. And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, oh, we'd give anything for one more hour of life. Yes, I suggest this is the best part of your life.